What's good, fam? Thanks for joining me after such a long time for another GoatFormat video. As you guys can tell, I have a new setup going on here. I just finished moving. I just got all my equipment back, and now I'm just ready to do this for you guys again. I'm pumped. And yeah, guys, before we get started on this, if you guys want to help support this channel, go check out my affiliate link in the description below for TCG Player. If you're going to pick up any cards for GOAT format, current format, or any of these other retro formats, you can do so there. It won't cost you any money whatsoever, and it'll help support this channel. Also, you can check out my merch link that's also in the description below. But anyways, guys, let's just hop into this. So I have the finals for the GoatFormat.com Patreon World Championship qualifiers that happened last weekend. I did see the finals of the winners bracket, which was also between DuckDuckG00se and John-Wick. And then I did see also the finals of the losers bracket, which was between DuckDuckG00se and DG's Forever, but I missed the finals. So I hit up DuckDuckG00se, who's a good friend of mine. I had him send over the video. And anyways, guys, let's just hop into this and check it out. So let's see who's going to win this rock, paper, scissors. So John Wick is going to win the rock, paper, scissors. They're going to choose to go first. So opening hands are, for John Wick, he's opening up Tribe Infecting Virus, Pot of Greed, Trap Dust Shoot, Gravekeeper Spy, and Chaos Sorcerer. DuckDuckG00se's opening hand is Chaos Orc, Tsukiyomi, Night Assailant, Delinquent Duo, and Book of Moon. Obviously, they're both playing Chaos variants. Let's see what the 6th card is for John Wick. John Wick grabs a Dekochi. So just by looking at this hand, it's going to be really hard for DuckDuckG00se to try to come back from this, because he's got a Pot of Greed and a Trap Dust Shoot. Yeah, Duck has a duo, but that's about the only power card he has. But let's see what John Wick is going to get off of this Pot of Greed. So he's going to play Pot of Greed, draw himself into a Sangan and a Tsukiyomi. So it's pretty hard here. You can go ahead and set the Gravekeeper Spy just to try to bait out the knock so that you don't get your Dekochi Noblemend. You can set the Sangan to try to get that knocked. Obviously this Trap Dust Shoot's going to go down, but let's see what the next play is going to be. So set Spy, set Dust Shoot, pass over, DuckDuckG00se draws. I'm assuming John Wick's immediately going to activate this Dust Shoot. He's going to chuck. Okay, so he's going to see his hand. And let's see what he's going to pick here. He's going to pick the Magician of Faith, which gets the light out for that Chaos Sword. So I'm assuming DuckDuckG00se is just going to play the Delinquent Duo here. There's really no need to wait. And then the only place he has besides this is set Night Assailant with the Book of Moon and try to get some kind of Night Assailant lock with the Tsukiyomi. But let's see what happens. John Wick draws for his turn, draws into a Mirror Force. He could just flip the Spy, put the other one in defense mode, and just swing into it. I mean, he knows he has a Book of Moon, so if he wants to protect it, he might just book. So he could just flip both Spies. And honestly summon Sangan if he wants to and just start manning up right now, just to put the pressure on DuckDuckG00se. But let's see what he does here. Yep, drop Sangan, swing with the Spy. This is going to kill the other Spy. Sangan's going to swing for 1,000. Set the Mirror Force if you really want to. You Dust Shooted him, you didn't see a breaker. Let's see. Yeah, maybe you want to protect it from a Kaiku or something like that. Just set the Mirror Force and pass. DuckDuckG00se draws into the breaker, so I'm assuming he's going to drop this now. There's really no reason not to. And then now he has to swing over this Gravekeeper Spy. And he has no more plays after that. Passes over to John Wick. John Wick draws into a Thunder Dragon, which is amazing because now he's got the Chaos Sorcerer. Let's see what he's going to do here. Discard Chaos Sorcerer. Discard Thunder Dragon. He could summon Tsukiyomi here. He knows this is Book of Moon, so if anything, he's going to try to protect it with the Book of Moon. Protect the breaker from the Tsukiyomi with the Book of Moon. And he knows the rest of his hand is Suki Chaos Sword, so he can really put some pressure in here. by afterwards swinging with the Sangan and then main phase 2 Chaos Sorking. But let's see what he's going to do here. So he's going to summon Suki. He's going to try to swing in. Yeah, Bukamon's going to save that. And he swings with the Sangan. So so he's going to do the exact same play I was just talking about. Get rid of the breaker. Now DuckDuckG00se's hand is pretty dead. He has to draw into a Thunder Dragon to try to get some play back. If he rips his Thunder Dragon, he might be back in this game for sure. But let's see what happens. Oh wow! So he rips the Thunder Dragon, pitches it, gets another pair. So now he's just gonna Chaos Sork and get rid of the Sork. Put in defense mode maybe. Yeah, put in defense mode, banish. And then, so now the outs are Child Infecting Virus is gone. The outs are, Snatch, Steal, Ring of Destruction, and another Chaos Monster. So that has to be it, because if not, he's just going to banish this next turn. But anyway, let's see what John-Wick draws into. So he's going to set the Tsukiyomi, draws into a ring. Yep, Ring of Destruction. Flip Tsukiyomi, put the Sangan back down. He knows that this is a Tsukiyomi because he Thunder Dragon, so he knows that these are Thunder Dragons in his hand. So he's going to sack for his own Thunder Dragon, presumably swing into this Tsukiyomi. Let's see what DuckDuckG00se is going to book. He grabs the Magician of Faith. So he's going to book the Thunder Dragon as well. Now he's just going to set Chaos Sork and pass over. Set the Ring of Destruction and pass over. DuckDuckG00se draws into Torrential Tribute. Main phase 1, battle phase, he's gonna swing. This is gonna get ringed. Then just set Torrential Tribute and pass. This is not looking good for Duck. Wick draws into a Wing Blast, which is also really good. I'm assuming he's just gonna flip over this Thunder Dragon and swing. You don't necessarily want to play into anything. Yep, swing for 1600. You could set this Magician of Faith to get the pot back. You know these are Thunder Dragons. He has to rip a Nobleman. And even if he does rip a Nobleman, that's really good because John Wick's then forcing DuckDuckG00se to start playing his cards. And it's just leaving Duck with dead Thunder Dragons in his hand. So set the Faith, set the Wing Blast, pass over. Duck draws into a Gravekeeper Spy. I'm assuming this is going to get Wing Blasted, but let's see what's going to happen. He's going to set it. Okay, so he's going to drop it and then Torrential, which is pretty okay still. The only issue is, again, Duck's got these dead Thunder Dragons in his hand. They're not doing anything. Maybe the right play there was to just set it. But then I can see what Duck is thinking. He's probably thinking that he hasn't played Nobleman yet. So that's just taking a risk. I understand that. But again, the issue now is Duck's left with 2 dead Thunder Dragons in his hand. John Wick knows that, so if he's got any kind of pressure, he's just going to put it in right now. And Duck's at 2100, so any Chaos Sork or BLS play, any Chaos play is going to kill him. So I guess in hindsight, he probably should have just set the Gravekeeper Spy. If he's got a Sork, then the Sork doesn't kill it. You might be able to Torrential then. It has to be Nobleman, and even if it is Nobleman, he's not gonna win this turn unless he draws into another monster. You have to commit it, and then you can Torrential Tribute. So maybe this was the misplay. Maybe this was a misplay this turn. He probably just should have just set that Gravekeeper Spy. Of course, even if John Wick had a response, he's just gonna let this happen because he knows that these Thunder Dragons are face down. In his hand. John Wick draws into a Night Assailant. He could set this now and try to get a Tsukiyomi lock as well. He does have Magician of Faith in his graveyard, so he may want to keep it and set the Tsukiyomi so that he can Wing Blast and then get back his Magician of Faith. But let's see what he does. He just passes over. DuckDuckG00se draws into a Chaos Sorcerer. So now he's just forced a Thunder Dragon and then Chaos Sork if he really wants to start committing to the board. Let's see what he does here. Let's see. So he chucks it and he drops the Chaos Sork. Now I'm going to stop right here because now John Wick can also do a few more things. So he could Wing Blast this, discarding Thunder Dragon. Now he can set Night Assailant and this is going to force DuckDuckG00se to draw into the Sork, play the Thunder Dragon again. Let's see this graveyard. Yeah, play the Thunder Dragon again, and then literally commit his whole hand just because of this Wing Blast. The Wing Blast could also discard the Night Assailant, getting him back Magician of Faith, which would still force DuckDuck to commit next turn with the Chaos Sorcerer, and then John-Wick picks up Pot of Greed. So those are the lines of play that he has right now. Let's see what happens. So he's going to Wing Blast, yep, get rid of the Night Assailant. He's going to pick up his Faith, so he's going to go with the second route here. Pass over, Wick now has another draw, which is a duo. He could duo here if he wants, but yeah, this is just, he could set, the best play right now is setting this duo. The Thunder Dragon discard is not going to do anything because he's going to be forced to play it next turn just to drop the Chaos Sorcerer. So let's see what happens here. Set duo, set Faith, pass over. Now he's going to discard Thunder Dragon. He's got no other plays, or he's going to pass. Yeah, so discard Thunder Dragon, go for the Chaos Sword play, swing in. Now he's going to get back his Pot of Greed. Yeah, so now this is just the resource game. Grabs back his Pot of Greed, draws into Heavy Storm, plays Pot, draws into another Wing Blast, and a Graceful Charity, so that's really good right there. Activate the Graceful. Draws himself into, Chaos Sword, Magician of Faith, and Dueling. So he's at 21. He won't be able to kill him this turn. But let's see. You can. Yeah, he kind of wishes he had this duo in his hand now. Let's see. He can get rid of Thunder Dragon. You can get rid of Thunder Dragon, Dueling, and then just Sork, set Magician with the Wing Blast. Even if the next card's Heavy Storm, it doesn't matter because then you just flip Magician of Faith and go into a Tsukiyomi lock. You can discard the Heavy Storm for the Wing Blast, and that's going to secure the game right there. So John-Wick's going to get this game won. Yeah, so that's exactly what he does. Banishes, drops Chaos Sorcerer. He's going to banish that. Now set Wing Blast with Magician of Faith. Pass over, Duck draws into a Solemn. He's going to set it. This is going to get Wing Blasted on end phase, and now the game doesn't even matter after that. So now we're going into game 2. DuckDuckG00se is going to go first. So you guys see my name here. I actually didn't watch this game. I saw Pot of Greed and Dust Shoot, and I walked out of the room. Just because Duck is my friend, I didn't want to see what was going to happen after that. But anyways, guys, so now we're on game 2. DuckDuck is going to go first. He's going to open Chaos Sorcerer, Book of Moon, Gatekeeper Spy, Metamorphosis, and Xing Zheng Hu. John Wick's opening hand is Metamorphosis, BLS, a Magician of Faith, Thunder Dragon, and a Delinquent Duo. Let's see what Duck's next card is. Duck's next card is Snatch Steal, so he doesn't have much play here. I'm assuming because Duck because Duck played him at the finals of the winners bracket, that he knows he's playing Metamorphosis or something like that, so he can go ahead and set Book of Moon with Gravekeeper Spy if he wants to protect himself from, let's say, Thousand Eyes Restrict on opener. The other route is obviously setting Xing Zheng Hu with Gravekeeper Spy, but then you're susceptible to Breaker. Breaker will run into your Spy, and then you'll get another one, so your board will be stable, but you don't necessarily want to lose out a card. So maybe just setting the Book of Moon with the Gravekeeper Spy might be the play right now, so let's just see what he does. Yeah, so that's exactly what he does. Passes over to John Wick. John draws into a Nobleman. So this Nobleman... No, okay, so Delinquent Duo is going to fire off first. Pay 1,000. So if you're new to this channel, I've already misstated this before. The reason you activate Delinquent Duo before your Thunder Dragons or before even Pot of Greed or Upstart Goblin, you don't want to give your opponent any kind of knowledge on what you're doing, because all that does is allow them to make a play based on what you've already done. So if you have a Delinquent Duo, you should just fire it off right away. They don't have any kind of reads on what you have, and therefore they will make discards based on the information that you've already given them. But anyways, he activates Delinquent Duo. Let's see what he's gonna discard. Okay, so he gets rid of the Chaos Sorcerer. Honestly, maybe you want to discard the Xing Zheng Hu. I mean, I know it's more live than the Metamorphosis, but the problem here is you're committing to setting another card. Heavy Storm blows you out. At the very least, with the Metamorphosis, if you draw into Scapegoats or if you draw into a Sinister Serpent or something like that, you can go ahead and activate it. I would just chuck the Sing Zang Hu. There's no reason to keep it in your hand. Okay, so he chucks the Metamorphosis, which again wouldn't have been my play. But now, John's probably just going to activate Nobleman now. Okay, so Thunder Dragon. I would have just waited until I did all my plays with Thunder Dragon. Because again, I don't want him to know that I have Thunder Dragons in hand. Because that's technically a -1. Until you use those Thunder Dragons, it's technically a -1. So again, they'll be able to activate cards based on the reads that they already have. I would have just Nobleman and probably just set the Faith and then Thunder Dragon, but that's just me. So he's gonna grab his Thunder Dragons, play the knock, and then set Faith and pass. There's really nothing else to do here. And then pass, and then Duck's gonna draw into a Sinister Serpent, which, if he had that Metamorphosis, then he could suck this up. But again, no knock to him. He got to the finals of this, and I didn't. I didn't play, but you see the point I'm making here. But anyways, he draws into Sinister Serpent. He's just gonna pass here. If he sets this, then he's risking getting Nobleman. Again, I mean, I know one Nobleman's gone, so maybe he can set the Serpent now. I mean, honestly, what are the odds that he has both Noblemans? You don't want to read that. But let's see what he does here. So he sets a Sing Zang Hu, which again now you're susceptible to Heavy Storm. Let's see if he sets the Serpent also. He does set the Serpent. Serpent passes over to John-Wick. See, now this is a Magician of Faith, and that's gonna get crossed out. So yeah, I had a little brain fart there. Completely forgot he had a Magician of Faith down. But that's another thing, you know. Yeah, I probably. Yeah, that wasn't such a good play. But anyways, John-Wick draws into a Metamorphosis. Flips his Magician of Faith. Let's see what he has here again. He has a Duo, he has a Nobleman. He's probably just gonna knock this face down. There's no reason not to. So gets the Nobleman, plays it, and then now if he really wants to, he can start manning up and drop the Thunder Dragon. Let's see what he does. He could just drop Thunder Dragon and swing. If he really wants to go into Balter, he could do that. He can go into Fiend's Gold Dragon also is the other one that says, I believe he's a level 5, and he's not targeted. He can't be targeted by trap cards. And flip effects don't work while he's on the board, but let's see what he does. So if he's reading some kind of Wing Blast, I'm not 100% if that's a level 5, I think it is, but if he's reading a Wing Blast or a Saku, then that might be the play right now. Nope, he just swings some Thunder Dragon and passes over. Okay, main phase 2 goes into Balter. So Balter is going to prevent, obviously, a duo of his own, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, which are the power cards you really care about, even a Metamorphosis if he so happens to have a, Scapegoats down or something like that. Pass over, Duck draws into Thunder Dragon, which doesn't do anything. Let's read Balter really quick. So he can't Snatch Steal this, and then... So he can Snatch Steal this, and then Book of Moon and hold on to that. Let's see what he does. That's honestly the better play, because if you sacrifice Thunder Dragon, you're just giving him a Chaos play. And then if you just pass, and they Heavy Storm you, then you're forced to Book of... Oh, well, you can pay 1,000 and negate it. If they summon Breaker, you can just Book of Moon it. So he can just snatch and pass. He doesn't have to do anything, just swing, play Thunder Dragon. But let's see what he does. Thunder Dragon gets discarded. Play Snatch Steal, just swing and pass. You really don't have to do anything else. Draws into a Dust Shoot, which is pretty dead right now. So it's not looking that good for John-Wick. He's gonna set this Dust Shoot as a bluff and pass, right? Pass over, Duck draws into a Sangan. So I would even be afraid of summoning this Sangan now, because I don't want to put a Dark in his graveyard. But let's see what he does here. Yep, he just swings for 1,000. Is he gonna set this Sangan? Yeah, so that was a really good play by Duck. So John-Wick finally draws a Scapegoats, which is gonna change this game up a little bit. Duck does have the Sing Zang Hu, so at the end phase he should be able to lock these Scapegoats out, but let's see what happens. So John activates the Scapegoats, which was a really good move. Yeah, that was really good. So again, these guys played each other already. Duck's been through rounds of playing people, so I'm assuming that John-Wick believes that DuckDuck might have sided in the Zing Zang Hu. So that was like one of the proest plays that I've seen, you know, or proest reads that I've seen, because you don't think Zing Zang Hu, but that was the out to activate. I'm sorry, that was the out to the Zing Zang Hu, just activating scapegoats. So he activates scapegoats, drops tokens on the board. So Duck is gonna activate Zing Zang Hu, targeting his own face down and his opponent's face down, which doesn't do anything right now, but just lock him out of an out to that metamorphosis. So I don't even know why he did that. Maybe he's afraid of Solemn Judgment. Yeah, I mean, this Book of Moon outs the Thousand Eyes Restrict. I mean, Balter outs the Thousand Eyes, the metamorphosis anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure why he did that, but let's see what happens here. So obviously that's gonna go through. 4 goats are gonna drop on the board. Pass over, Duck draws into a Graceful Charity, which is amazing with the Thunder Dragons. So he plays it, draws into Torrential. Wow, Torrential, Tribe Infecting Virus, and Night Assailant. He doesn't have any flips in the graveyard, so that's unfortunate there. Obviously getting rid of the Thunder Dragons. Okay, so he gets rid of a Thunder Dragon and a Night Assailant, which doesn't make a difference. He's probably going to drop this Tribe Infecting Virus and then call Beasts to get rid of these. And then flip this because that's locked out, so there's no Torrential Tribute. Oh, that might have been it. So he might have been thinking that he was going to Goats and then just activate Torrential Tribute to wipe the board. And he doesn't want to get rid of this Balter or put the Dark in the graveyard, so that's probably the play. That's probably why he activated this Zing Zang Hu. So he's gonna go ahead and summon this Tribe Affecting now and wipe this board. Yep, call Beasts. Swing him with everything. Nice, leave him at 400, set Torrential Tribute. Pass over, John draws into a Mirror Force. Gains a grand. Sets meta, sets Mirror Force. That was such a top deck. Wow. I'm so upset. Draws into a Night Assailant. Let's see what he does here. You have to be afraid of the Mirror Force. Let's see what he does, or what he can do. Zangan's gonna stay on the board in attack mode. Maybe switch Tribe to defense mode. No, you have to switch the Balter to defense because you don't want that Dark in the grave. So switch Balter to defense mode, and then man up with Tribe and Zangan. Let's see what happens. Oof. So he just mans up with everything. Mirror Force gets activated. Zangan's gonna search for Magician of Faith. Sets a Night Assailant, which is really good because that's a fake out. John-Wick draws into a Sinister Serpent, so he guys got meta and a Trap Dust Shoot. So set and then activate Metamorphosis, try to bait something out. Thousand Eyes Restrict comes down, Torrential goes off, and now BLS drops. Yeah, so he's got a top deck, some kind of Chaos Monster, or again, Ring of Destruction. That was crazy. That's back, man. Let's see what happens. So swings in for 3K, draws into a Faith, so this has to go down. And then John-Wick can man up if he wants to because this back row is locked. Both Night Assailants are gone. So he can technically run into this right now if he wants to just press for damage. Unfortunately, he doesn't have 400 more. He has 300 more. Another thing he could do is just banish and then set the Faith. So let's see what happens. Grab Serpent. Yep, banishes, sets Magician, passes over. Okay, so Duck draws into Ring of Destruction. This should be game. Sets and sets, passes over. Does John draw the Book of Moon? Nope, he doesn't draw the Book of Moon. and you don't just activate it right away. You want to see what he does. If he goes into battle phase and swings, this is still, I mean, you're going to activate it now because you don't want to take the $3,000, but you don't want to just activate it because then they just activate Book of Moon right away, and then they get the flip, and then they can still go ahead and proceed with their turn. You want to try to commit with the monster like by attacking, because then if you activate Ring and then they Book of Moon, they're not able to flip it up again. I'm sorry, they will be able to flip it up again, but you're not dying this turn. And if they don't do anything with the monster, and they set a card, that's probably the Book of Moon. You go ahead and Ring on end phase. But you never just want to shotgun the Ring for game. But let's see what Duck does. I know Duck knows this. So he banishes, flips Magician of Faith, gets back Metamorphosis, and then now, let's see. So he's probably going to meta here. Well, he could meta. He could just set the Wing Blast and pass. I mean, does he necessarily want to lose this Blackluster that's on the board? I think he's just going to set this Wing Blast and pass. Torrential's gone. Mirror Force isn't gone. So he could sack for Thunder Dragon here, put this in defense, and start swinging. But let's see what happens. Okay, so he sets, activates meta on, let's see, on the face down. Okay, so this is Fiend's Gold Dragon. This is the guy I was talking about before. So a fusion of this, yeah, okay. So negate the effects of flip effect monsters, like literally while he's on the board, flip effect monsters don't work. And then negate any trap effect that targets this card on the field. So yeah, so this is gonna be game. So obviously Ring the Blackluster Soldier. Okay, so now we're going to game 3, guys. So John-Wick opens up a Dakochi, Nobleman, Tribe, Card Destruction, Pot of Greed. Duck's opening hand is Chaos Torque, Judgment, Thunder Dragon, Ring of Destruction, and Mirror Force. 6th card is Gravekeeper Spy, so he doesn't get the Thunder Dragon just yet. Let's see if he pots into it. Pot into Kaiku and a Scapegoat. Okay, so again, you could just set this Gravekeeper Spy and pass. There's no need to set the Scapegoats with it. Gravekeeper Spy is just a good defense in general. The only thing that's going to take it out is a Nobleman. But then he'd be Noblemaning his own spies as well, Duck would. Let's think about this. So just set Spy is probably the play, and not the Scapegoats. Because if they summon Breaker, you're either forced to lose the Scapegoats, or you're forced to activate the Scapegoats, and then you lose the Gravekeeper Spy flip, and you're Goat locked. Let's say he just sets Scapegoats and passes. He has no follow-up play with the Scapegoats. So I'm assuming the play is just set Spy and pass. Let's see what he does here. Yep, passes over. Duck draws into an Acid Trap Hole. So let's talk about Acid Trap Hole now. So I was talking to Duck. He was explaining to me why he uses this card over Desert Sunlight. So Acid Trap, let's just read Acid Trap Hole. So target one face down defense position monster on the field, flip it face up, then destroy it if its defense is 2,000 or less, or return it face down if its defense is more than 2,000. Okay, so the way this card works is if you get Nobleman, you can get your flip effect guy off, and the card gets sent to the graveyard. If you get mind controlled, which is the more important part here, and let's say you activate Desert Sunlight, chain to the mind control. Desert Sunlight would be chain link 2. It would flip the monster face up. Chain link 1 would be the mind control. Your opponent would get the monster, and then your monster's effect would go off in a separate chain on your opponent's board, and they would get the flip effect. So with Acid Trap Hole, what happens is the Nobleman or the mind control comes down, Acid Trap Hole flips it up, and then destroys it. So your opponent doesn't get the monster if it's a mind control, and then you get the effect off. Also, you can Acid Trap Hole your opponent's monsters and just kill it to get it off the board. So that's why the card's good. or better than Desert Sunlight in the mirror match. They're playing chaos mirror matches, so I'm sure he's assuming that John's gonna side in mind control or something like that. But anyways, he activates Thunder Dragon, grabs his other pair, and he could technically set his whole hand if he really wants to. The safe play is just to set the Ring of Destruction. But let's see what Duck's gonna do here. Okay, so he sets 3, passes over. I just missed that. Okay, so he drew to a Book of Moon. So he's just gonna flip this spy and start swinging, and then set Book of Moon and maybe the DueLing and pass over. There's really nothing more to this. Put the other spy in defense mode. There's no reason to put him in attack mode. He's a great raw. If they have a mirror force, which Duck does have a mirror force, then this traded 1 for 1, you lose your wall. So 1200 is perfectly fine here. And then set Book of Moon with DueLing and pass over. Okay, so he doesn't even set the DueLing. Maybe because he's afraid of Torrential Tribute with like a Sangan or a Serpent or something like that. Anyways, Duck draws into a Wing Blast, which again he could set right now because he has a Solemn Judgment. The problem is that Solemn is now forced to negate a Heavy Storm. But let's see what happens. He just passes over. John-Wick draws into Sangan, which is the perfect monster because now he can just drop the Sangan and start manning up, at least with the 1 spy. So he's going to try to get in for 22 right now. Oh no, he doesn't even do that. That's surprising. So he's going to try to get, is he going to try to get the Sangan knocked? Okay, so passes over. Duck draws into another Chaos Sorcerer. So he might be forced to set this Wing Blast to start doing something with these sorcerers. Passes over. John draws into a Wing Blast. So now flip up your Sangan. Yep, flip Sangan. He's gonna get in for 2200. Yeah, I'm sure all this is gonna go through. And you have too many cards in your hand, so you might just set the Wing Blast just to set it. Okay, so DueLing is gonna go down now. End phase Wing Blast on the DueLing. Chucks the Chaos Sorc, so now he's got his Chaos Monsters, or at least his Chaos Sorcerer to start working. He could activate this MST. The problem is if he has a Wing Blast or his own MST, then this is just gonna completely go minus here, but let's see what happens. So just banish Light and Dark, summon Chaos Sorc, banish Sangan. John-Wick's gonna activate Book of Moon here. There's really nothing else to do. That Tri-Virus. Oh, that Tri-Virus is not even gonna go down because these are all spellcasters. So he can't even answer this Chaos Sorc unless he drops the Wing Blast. He's gonna go ahead and set the MST again. Well, set the MST. Wick draws into obviously the DueLing. Puts the Spy in defense mode. Sets Wing Blast and pass. Duck is gonna end phase MST the Wing Blast. Draws into Heavy Storm. So now just start picking these guys apart one by one. There's really nothing else to do here. Just start banishing. Sets the Acid Trap Hole, passes over. Wick draws into a Night Assailant. Flips the DueLing, draws into, let's see, draws into Knock, which that's not doing anything here either. Maybe set Night Assailant now and pass over. Sets Night Assailant with the Bluff Nobleman. Passes over. Duck draws into a meta, so just banish the other spy here now. Okay, so he banishes the DueLing. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I guess maybe for Tsukiyomi play, but I don't think John wants to get torrentialed. So I don't think he's even going to go for a Tsukiyomi play. John draws into a Breaker, which I don't think is going to get that. Yeah, it's not going to get dropped right now. Flips the Night Assailant. That's going to get rid. Okay, so the Night Assailant's going to get solemned. Leaves Duck. I think he's going to leave him at 17. Yeah, his life points are weird. Summons Breaker. Breaker is going to... Let's see. I mean, who cares about this Acid Trap Hole? You don't want this Mirror Force to get broken. So you might want to... Yeah, it's really weird, but you might want to go ahead and ring this. just because you want to hold this board down, and you don't want this Mirror Force to go because you're really low on life. Let's see what he does here. So he's at 1700. So he's gonna activate the ring. That's gonna leave him at 100. I'll just pass over. Are you gonna set scapegoats? No, he just passes over, draws into Kaiku. Again, just banish this chaos. I'm sorry, this Gravekeeper Spy. Nothing else to do, honestly. Just pass. You can set the Kaiku if you want it to get overwhelmed. So he sacks for Thunder Dragon. Plays Metamorphosis. Okay, goes in for a Dark Balter play. Try to get rid of the Sangan. Sangan's dead. Passes over. Withdraws into a BLS. He's got no lights in the graveyard. So let's see what happens. This tribe can kill it. But then it's just going to get Mirror Forced. Tribe is going to go down. I'm assuming to try to get rid of the Balter. That's going to get Mirror Forced. And then next turn, Duck's going to drop this Kaiku. And that's going to get goaded. Let's see what happens here. He could just set Scapegoats and pass and try to like wait out. Okay, so he activates Scapegoats, which I'm assuming is for the same thing as last time. He's probably trying to like not get Zing Zankoot here. The tokens drop on the board. Pass over. Duck draws into a Serpent. So swing at one of these tokens. Sets the Serpent and passes over. Withdraws into a Dust Shoot, which isn't doing anything here either. Drops Tri-Virus. Chucks the Dust Shoot maybe. Yep, chucks Duck Shoot. Flips the knock. This is going to get Mirror Forced. Okay, so Acid Trap Hole saves the Serpent, which is great. This tribe's going to get Mirror Forced here. Passes over. Duck draws into a Delinquent Duo, which isn't doing anything. Duck's at 100. Also, you know he's playing Night Assailants. Obviously, he's playing Serpents. Personally, and I don't know if I'm 100% sure on this yet, but I tend to take out this Delinquent Duo against the Chaos match, especially if I'm going second, because they have a good chance of opening Thunder Dragon, and then your Delinquent Duo is completely dead if you draw into it. Or if they get some kind of Night Assailant loop, then it's obviously dead. If they get Serpent, it's completely dead. So I probably wouldn't have kept this in game 3 right now. But let's see what happens. He could just summon Kaiku and start swinging at these tokens now. But let's see what Duck wants to do. What does he have face down? He has a Heavy Storm face down. Drops the Kaiku, swings at a token. Sets the duo. Yeah, it's a bluff. John-Wick draws into a duo of his own. He might activate this actually. Okay, summons Kaiku, bumps heads, so he doesn't play it. Passes over, Duck draws into a Spy. So this is gonna get set. Set Spy, passes over, John Wick draws into Dust Shoot again, which does nothing. So activates Nobleman, and then I'm assuming he's gonna set Dust Shoot also, right? As a bluff at least. Passes over. Duck draws into a Spell Canceller. Yeah. So I spoke to Duck about this. He told me that he was just making sure that the Scapegoats, the Metamorphosis, and all those power spells didn't go through. So this is not necessarily a bad read. The problem is now that you drew into it. Well, you have nothing to summon it. You're gonna have to set the Serpent now. Both Noblemans are gone, so that's perfectly fine. But the second John Wick draws into a light, this BLS is gonna come down. So the problem is John drawing into that Thunder Dragon. But let's see. He could just set this now. Obviously, he's got 2 cards down, so he's trying to bluff something. Let's see what he's got in his traps. In his graveyard. So he's missing Torrential Tribute, 2 Solemn Judgments, and potentially another Wing Blast Regeki Break. Also, no Book of Moons are in the graveyard. So set this as Sinister. He probably has a read that one of these are somewhat of a good card. But let's see what happens. Passes over. Withdraws into a Chaos Sork, which does nothing right now. And then Duck draws into a Blackluster Soldier. He has it, so yeah, this could be the end of the game here. you'd have to activate Heavy Storm now. And then he can drop these two, those cards are dead. And then push in. Let's see what happens. Plays the Heavy Storm. Yep, search for Spell Canceller, Light and Dark, BLS. Swings for 3k, and it's game next turn unless John-Wick draws into a light monster, which I already know who won this match, so yep. So John-Wick draws into a Thunder Dragon, pitches it, obviously gets his other Thunder Dragons, and he can just scoop it up right now because he's obviously got Chaos Guys in his hand. And that's that, guys. And so that's match, guys. That was a really good match. I thought Duck was going to win this game. You know, unfortunate that John draws into the Thunder Dragon now. I mean, to be honest with you, he was at 21 cards left in his deck. So, like a percentage more than half of his deck, right? And John could have drawn any of these Thunder Dragons a lot earlier, or a Magician of Faith a lot earlier, and then all of this would have been different. And yeah, but listen, congratulations to both these guys. Congratulations to Duck. This is, I think, the second time that he got to the finals of one of these Patreon tournaments. But guys, if you want to check out one of these Patreon tournaments, go to GoatFormat.com. I'll have the link in the description. I think there's only 2 more left. If you win this, you get your invite to the World Championships for GoatFormat. Yeah. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this match. If there was any other play that I didn't catch that you caught, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if there was any other play any kind of big brain play that you saw that I didn't. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Really quick, I'm so sorry for disappearing for a while, but now I'm back, okay? And I'm back for good now, and I will be seeing you guys very, very soon, okay? I love all of you, and I'll see y'all next time, okay? Peace.